Welcome in, everybody. Another show on the Five Reasons Sports Network YouTube channel. I'm here with my man Paul. We have Five Reasons football action coming at you. It's been a while since we've done this. We don't have our usual crew. We've been getting pretty busy with all these other sports going on. You've had to cover a couple of signing days with the Hurricanes so far. I've gotten busy with doing the radio. Kai's doing a bunch of Dolphins stuff. Manny's producing every show in existence. He's at all the Panthers games. Martin is being Martin. So it's getting a little crazy and a little busy at the Five Reasons Sports Network, but we're going to try and be more consistent about this. Welcome in. We have a bunch of news to talk about, especially regarding our local club, Inter Miami. We have USA news to talk about, MLS in general news to talk about, and then later on in the show, we'll have our man Kai coming in to join us to talk about European stuff and likely Bayern in the FIFA Club World Cup. The final should be coming up soon, so that'll be pretty interesting. Paul, man, how you doing?
I'm all right. It's been a while. We have been able to get on the past month, but if you guys missed it, actually it's hard to miss all the MLS news. Not only with the CBA, but also all these guys not transferring, but they're getting their feet wet with European football, which I feel like is a huge deal. A lot of names too. It's a lot of names that like we talked about before the show that I had not heard at all. But I think it's exciting to hear. It's just all the movement. But we're gonna get into that later. But let's start off first with the MLS. The CBA, they would agree. It was not the easiest, smoothest negotiations. They extended the negotiations. No, they extended the deadline. I think 2 or 3 times during this time. Just give us your thoughts on that. I think you mentioned that you felt like the owners want it, but overall, what's your take on it?
So basically, the problem here with the MLS and the MLS Players Association was we had a CBA agreed on last year in February in order to get the season back started again. Okay, now after they had to renegotiate that deal, that was all the way through 2025, and we had the MLS's back tournament, and we had the 2020 season. A force majeure clause was invoked by the league and saying that we need to renegotiate the structure of the deal because of the projected losses, blah, blah, blah. Here's my thing. I'm going to call bullcrap on that, and this is why. In 2025, that's when the original CBA that they had was supposed to end. 2026, the World Cup is going to be in North America. Okay? The main thing in these new negotiations that have finally just passed after, like you said, 2 or 3 different, delays.
Extensions.
They had to push back. Yeah, they had to push back the due date basically a couple times. Finally came to a deal. But the main thing was players wanting to stand their ground over the owners who were trying to extend it from 2025 past the World Cup in 2026 all the way to 2027. The owners did not want to negotiate a deal right before the World Cup, knowing they would have to give up probably a lot more money than if they were to negotiate a deal right now with their projected earnings throughout the global pandemic. I wouldn't say it's that plain and simple, but that is a big thing. Now, I'm not going to say the players lost here. The players, there were a couple of things that the players got that were good. Like the first thing I would definitely mention is there are new free agency rules that would open up a lot more. My man Kai.
What it is?
Hello.
What's
Let
up?
me just finish up with this CBA talk. And look, yeah, we got the Club World Cup final tomorrow for CONCACAF versus Europe, baby. It should be interesting. Anyway, as I was saying, the players did not lose fully. There are new free agency rules that help a lot more players in the league become a free agent, which is a good thing. If you don't understand MLS rules, becoming a free agent, there's like different kinds of free agents and ways to become a free agent, how to make money in bigger deals. It's super weird, but they've opened that up. They've also added an under 22 initiative, meaning players or clubs now can sign 3 players under 22 years old and not have their salary charged towards the budget. So someone who you can initially think of is Matthias Pellegrini of Inter Miami, who signed a designated player deal at a very, very high price. That they might be able to move that under there. I don't know the actual regulations of that yet, but that is something to look at. So there's a couple things there, but for the most part, the players kind of lose out because they won't be able to restructure a CBA right before the 2026 World Cup. They'll have to go through through the World Cup, which is kind of unfortunate. But at least we're getting a season. April 17th, I believe, is the day is opening day. We're gonna have around February 22nd, couple weeks until training camp opens. So there will be a lot of Inter Miami news to come out, and there already has been. So there's a lot to look out for. But the good news is MLS and the Players Association got an agreement, and we're going to have a season.
That's honestly great news. And I know it's kind of, you don't hear about these situations too often where a season is in danger of getting canceled, especially like amongst like a lot of sports. I know the 2010 or 2011 when the NBA had that
the lockout.
that was a shortened season. Yeah, I think the season started in early December. I think
it was a couple months. Yeah, it was a couple months.
Yeah, I think that was LeBron's first championship, as I recall. But aside from that, one thing is so essentially there still is a salary cap in MLS.
It is. They have increased it. They are going to continue to increase it. They're going to increase the GAM money, the TAM money throughout the years. You can look at the projections on the MLS website and the numbers there if you want. It's not crazy increases, and it's actually a downtrend from what they had in the original CBA through 2025. But there still is an increase there. I think they're only raising it between this year and next year by like 100,000. So there are a little bit of issues there, but that's because of the projected losses throughout the rest of this pandemic.
Oof. Okay. Should we just go to the question?
Yeah, we'll go to Anthony's question. So Anthony here says, do you guys think that Inter Miami might sign young players from Spain, South America, and Portugal? So let's talk about Inter Miami signing players. Should we, Paul?
Perfect. Okay. So there's two big names that Inter Miami has been linked with. They're both playing Premier League, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, one's in the Championship now. Used to play in the Premier League.
Oh, okay. All right. Could you kind of tell us about that?
So the two guys that Paul is referring to here, they are not from Spain, South America, and or Portugal. They're actually both from England, and this is basically the Phil Neville impact. Now, the first name that is not in the Premier League but was for a very long time, actually grew up in the Manchester United Academy and was probably in the academy as a youngster while Beckham and Neville were on the team, which is kind of crazy to think about, but is Ryan Shawcross, a 33-year-old center back, England vet, Premier League vet, Stoke City captain for, I think, since 2009 or 2010.
12 years, I think.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time with Shawcross at Stoke City, and he now at the moment he's not getting a lot of play time. Stoke City are moving on from him, or trying to anyway, because one, he's on a pretty good deal because they are taking care of him as he is their longest tenured player, and he is their club captain, and he lives and breathes Stoke City. That's Ryan Shawcross. He's known for some pretty nasty tackles. I'm not going to say he's a dirty player, but he definitely likes to get stuck in.
He's physical.
Very physical. That's the word we'll use. And a lot of players and a lot of fans that are, that follow English football are not fond of him because of these things. He did I forget who he injured somebody pretty badly a couple of years ago in the Premier League, and it kind of caused an uproar, but that's kind of his thing. But listen, the thing is with Ryan Shawcross is if you can get him on the right money, there's no way you say no to a long-tenured English Premier League veteran who your English coach would like to have. Now, one thing that might be an unpopular opinion with Ryan Shawcross is I do not personally think that Ryan Shawcross, unless he has a phenomenal training camp and he gets here before the 22nd of February, would be a starter. I don't think that he starts the season right away. I think you keep the center back pairing of Jorge Figal and LGP. Personally, I think that he adds absolute great depth that we did not have last year after all the injuries. Andres Reyes was always questionable in his, let me just say, decision making on the pitch. It was always tough. Good luck to him at the Red Bulls, by the way. And the only two other center backs on the roster, other than LGP and Figal, are a youngster who we signed for the academy, Ian Frey, who David Beckham has spoken highly about. But again, I think he's 17 years old, and then also Ian Mabika, who we signed from the Super Draft from Kentucky. So you have two guys that have never had MLS experience as your two backup center backs. Bringing in Shawcross would be huge. I just wouldn't expect to see him as a starter right away unless he does wow Phil Neville or fits his style perfectly. Then I see maybe, okay, you play him next to LGP, or unless Phil Neville wants to see Figo as a right back, which he spoke about in a press conference. That's another option there too.
Okay. And I mean, it's only one name. I think
there is another name,
Gibbs.
Yes.
So he used to play in the Premier League, or are you talking about?
He plays in the Premier League now, and He did play for Arsenal, which is one of the bigger clubs in the Premier League. Right now, he plays for West Bromwich Albion, but he doesn't actually get that much play time. He's only I don't think he's actually that old. I think he's just in the early 30s, kind of like Shawcross is. 31. Yeah. So Kieran Gibbs is a name that they have been linked with. Now his situation is a little different than Shawcross at the moment. Now, a report came out from the Sun and Steve Brenner, who I have massive respect for, by the way. The report was that Inter Miami are obviously looking to sign this player as soon as possible. That's what they want. They want to bring him in before training camp starts. Now, it gets a little difficult because, first of all, Kieran Gibbs is on a really good contract for West Brom, and a contract he probably doesn't deserve at the moment, like given his play time and his form at the club in the last 6 months. But he's on a really good deal. West Brom, in order to get him out of this deal, or Inter Miami, would have to buy out this contract. For Kieran Gibbs to say, yes, you can give me the X amount of money to get me out of this contract so I don't have to play until June, which is when it expires. His contract expires in June. To get him to say no to taking wages all the way through June and to get him to come to South Florida on a smaller deal in MLS, you're going to have to pay him a handsome amount of money. Are Inter Miami willing to pay that, or are West Bromwich Albion able to pay that money? Right now, the Premier League is in, they're still pandemic form. Not a lot of clubs, especially like West Brom, who are one of the smaller clubs in the Premier League, might be able to afford that kind of deal to get him out of that contract. So for me, personally, from what I've read, what I've seen, Kieran Gibbs is not willing to leave unless the buyout is really good and the terms for Inter Miami right away are really good. Now, come June, where his contract expires and Inter Miami are able to reach an agreement and bringing him in the secondary transfer window, which would be in July, maybe you can do that, but I don't think the club wants that either because right now the wing back depth is very, very shallow, and bringing in Gibbs would bolster that, and it would really help. But it's kind of hard to do given that Gibbs is making a good amount of money in England. You have to get him out of that money. It's going to go down to what Inter Miami want to spend. Also, yeah, Christian Makoun, that's actually a really good shout. I didn't even think about Christian Makoun. That's a name I didn't think about. But still, also, how many games did he play for Inter Miami? Let's think about that. Maybe, 2, 3? I know he played for Fort Lauderdale CF. He went out on loan early on. Not a lot of time at the MLS level. If you can tell me that you're comfortable with Makoun being your number 3 center back, I would be very shocked. I wouldn't agree with you, but maybe. I just think Shawcross would be your instant number 3, maybe even your number 2 center back. So that you have to bring in center back or defensive depth all along. That's why we're having this Kieran Gibbs discussion. The only left back right now on the roster is the newly acquired Patrick Segrist, who we traded for early on. And he
Royal.
Let's go.
Royal. We gotta get you in here, Royal, bro. If you're around, bro, you gotta come in right now. This is gonna be a very interesting show. We need you on.
U.S. soccer is insane right now too.
Yeah, come on, Royal.
It is.
Perfect time.
It is.
So
just to wrap up, so the defensive depth is really weak, and Phil Neville is looking to bring in these two English guys. And if you can get them for the right money, of course you don't say no. You take them at any point you can if you are able to spend, a decent amount on them. You don't want to go crazy. You actually can't really go crazy because your DP slots are tied up. But you got to do what you got to do, and hopefully Phil Neville can do that. And to go to Anthony's question that was about Spain, South America, and Portugal, I think we're kind of drifting away from that. And I know maybe some fans don't really want to hear that when you look at the Brenner signing from Cincinnati, the Brazilian young striker that they just signed for like $13.5 million. It looks like Inter Miami are going to go with the Beckham-Neville approach of signing players over the pond. I mean, in England, in the UK, and those kinds of players, I mean, our most successful signing last year was Lewis Morgan. And where did he come from? Scotland. So I'm not going to say I disagree with the ideology there, but it looks like that's the direction they're heading in. And two things just to wrap up on Inter Miami. I know, Paul, I had the question lined up, but I'm just going to get right into it. Carranza and Pellegrini, the striker and the left winger that we signed so early on. We spent a DP slot on Matthias Pellegrini, the 19-year-old youngster. He's 20 now, but he was 19 at the time. We spent a lot of money on these two guys, and they did not perform. Obviously, the striker position is covered at the moment with Higuain. Left wing is not covered, but Pellegrini and both Carranza have had talks about going on loan back to Argentina, which, in my opinion, would be very beneficial for both the players. I think that they're both super young and super talented to have a ton of potential in order to, they could get playtime back in Argentina like they were before they came to Inter Miami. They both deserve to have playtime. They are both quality players, but right now they're not a fit for Inter Miami, in my opinion. I don't think Phil Neville also sees them as a fit right now. That's why these talks are kind of coming up. There has been no official sources on this. It's just from rumors that I've been seeing, but it would be mutually beneficial for both Carranza and Pellegrini, along with the club, to see out these loans, at least for maybe a year. Maybe if it's 6 months, you bring them back in July. Something like that I would be totally okay with, but that's something that they will have to explore. And good luck to both of them if they are to go and if they are to stay too, because we want to see our guys be successful.
No, you don't.
I do. Of course I do.
No, you don't.
Of course I do. We spent a lot of money on Pellegrini, man. A lot of money on Pellegrini. And
if anyone listens to Red Card Radio, they know that Austin Robillard hates Pellegrini. Okay?
No, listen. Here's the thing about Pellegrini. Okay, if he does go out on loan, that DP slot actually does get freed up. So for as long as he's gone,
and now you're happy. You see the smile.
As long as if he is gone, we do have a DP slot opened up and more money to spend. So that's just something to think about. But I know I genuinely think they're both 20 and 21 years old. They would benefit from playtime in Argentina, back in their home country. And then if they balled out like they should have, then boom. And yes, let me give credit here. Let me give credit here to Andres. Paul, I was talking about this off air. Andres and I and our other really good friend and colleague, Alex Windley, who is a very good reporter for MLS Multiplex and World Football Index, they keep me up to date on Inter Miami news when I'm at work because I have a day job, unfortunately. So they keep me up to date on news in a Twitter group chat, and all of that loan talk came straight out of Andres. And the more I thought on it, the more I'm like, Andres is an absolute genius. Put him. I bet you his football manager saves are quality. So yeah, shout out to Andres there and another colleague and helper here at the 5 Reasons Football and 5 Reasons Sports channel.
Another thing I slowly brought up, we said we got to get Royal in here. Royal said next week.
Book it.
The return of Royal Shepherd.
Or Royal return.
He's going to stop being on the clutch corner and he's going to come join 5 Reasons Football. I love it.
Yeah, don't the Heat suck? Can we just talk about something more exciting?
I mean, Inter Miami also sucks. So we should talk about Bayern.
Relax.
Talk about Bayern.
Relax. Inter Miami won't suck this year. It's going to be okay. We trust Phil Neville around here.
Streak as well.
Oh, so that's pretty good, I guess.
It's a very ugly winning streak.
The Heat are okay.
They're squeaking by, as I like to say. They're squeaking by in a very ugly manner, but they are winning. But
as long as they make the playoffs.
Oh God, hopefully, I'm praying. I'm kind of surprised though, because I mean, it's no surprise. It's obvious that Lewis Morgan balled out for Inter that season. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that no one really kind of tried to poach him.
I think that there were actually inquiries, but I have a source of mine at the club that said he is not going anywhere this season. So there were inquiries from clubs in the second division in England and from France, multiple clubs in France, I think. 3 in the top flight in Liga that wanted to get Lewis Morgan or had their eye on him. But I would say a very good source at the club has told me a while ago that Lewis Morgan is not going anywhere at the moment.
Oh, wow.
At the moment. So
watch him be a Bayern star in 3 years.
He's too old now. He's 24, so I don't know if he's gonna make that move yet. But
light it up on the wing.
I wouldn't doubt it. Speaking of which, I've been dying to talk about this. The amount of U.S. men's national team players and prospects, you could say, going to Europe during this transfer season. This list is incredible. I mean, I know the biggest name. Well, you could say the biggest name, but also probably the most unknown name was Bryan Reynolds, who, like I told you, Austin, before, like when he was linked to, when I saw the rumors that he was linked to Juve, I was like, wait, you mean the best team in Italy is going after play?
Not right now. Whoa, not right now. They're not the best team right now.
But in the past,
hey.
but like,
no, I get you. I'm just causing
like,
chaos.
I was really surprised that just like, because he hasn't even played a full season in Dallas,
right,
which is insane. He's only 19, and what Roma ended up forking over about 8 million euros. Compared to 15 euros.
They swooped in, by the way. Juve, I'm pretty sure, had a deal in place, and then Roma swooped in last second and took him. So you had two Italian giants fighting over an FC Dallas Academy product. Think about that.
What makes that even more weird, guys, is that FC Dallas and Bayern have a partnership where FC Dallas sends youth talent to Munich. And a lot of the times Bayern does sign those players like full time for their youth teams. So that's something that's really interesting, considering that wasn't something that could have gotten done, especially considering that Bayern is starting to really dive into that and like their partnership. I mean, they sent, I think, 5 players already for a few months, not as a loan, but just to train like in Munich. So that's something that's also really interesting there.
Another 2 clubs that do that, MLS and Bundesliga, is FC Cincinnati and Hoffenheim. They're able to transfer and exchange academy players and young players throughout both academies. And they also, I think FC Cincinnati also reached an agreement with Sao Paulo of Brazil to do the same thing. So MLS clubs are making moves, man.
And if you want to be a young U.S. talent, just to stay on that one and also like tie in like with the Bundesliga thing again, Hoffenheim and Sebastian Hoeneß, like they haven't been doing great, but Sebastian Hoeneß, the nephew of Uli Hoeneß, who was not the president, but he was like the CEO or something of Bayern. He essentially is the reason why Bayern even exists in the way that it does right now. And he retired, but that's his nephew, and he was the Bayern youth coach who had them win the 3 Liga, which is insane because that means that Bayern's youth team literally beat a bunch of professional people, which is hilarious to think about in the long run. He left. Bayern's youth team not doing as well now. They lost a couple pieces, but not doing as well. And he's just a guy that likes to develop talent. So if you're someone in FC Cincinnati and you want to develop on one of the major leagues, he's been developing some youth and playing them. I mean, just recently, Chris Richards moved on loan from Bayern to Hoffenheim. He was coached by Hoeneß for the past 2 seasons in the youth team for Bayern. And he started in the first game that he was there. They lost, but he had to put a pretty good game. So
a lot of MLS clubs are making moves, and you can look. I mean, the most successful. I'm gonna help you out here, Paul. The most successful academy at the moment, in my opinion, other than maybe the Dallas Academy, is the Philadelphia Academy, who have now sent both Brendan Aronson and Mark McKenzie over to Europe. And we're going to talk about all these transfers. And there's the one thing right there. Brendan Aronson scored his first official goal for Salzburg today in Austria, and he scored one in a friendly a couple weeks ago. But both those guys were in the Philadelphia Academy, played a bunch this year in MLS. Mark McKenzie actually played for 3 years, starting when he was 18, moved over to Genk and in Belgium, and now Aronson is over in Austria. There is a lot, like MLS is progressing, and if we actually go back and look at the CBA deal, it is not up to par, and it's not the money is not progressing as much as the league might do in the next 6 years. So it's a little weird. That's why I think the players lost a little bit, but we get a season, right?
Yeah, and I guess it's fair to say that. I mean, I think one topic of discussion that was brought up was that with the CBA, do you think MLS players would definitely look to move to Europe now because of the CBA?
They should.
I think the most talented U.S. Academy guy, like U.S. guys who have a shot at the national team, yeah, that's the goal. You're not gonna try and play in MLS. You're just not. I mean, no, you're just not. Even when you look at it, when you look at a guy like Jordan Morris, right, who
you
has
broke his
potential.
brain, Paul.
Think about two guys that want to play for the U.S. men's national team going forward who have a lot of competition over in Europe. Jordan Morris and Paul Arriola. Guess what? Out of the league. Who Jordan Morris has been here in MLS, I think his whole career after Stanford.
Yeah.
Now is over at Swansea. Same thing with Arriola. After his tearing his ACL, he not Arriola. Am I thinking of the right? Is it Paul Arriola?
Who went to Swansea? Yeah, it's Arriola.
Okay, after tearing his ACL, coming in for DC United, and now he's over to Swansea as well because Berhalter does like him, and I'm sure Berhalter has had a say in this. That look, you need to go get playtime over in a team in the championship who is fighting for promotion. You have to move on from MLS at this point, but if the league does end up progressing, then it's different. By the 2026 World Cup, of course, we're going to try and get something. And here's the thing with what Andres is saying here. They might force another CBA revision, but the players don't have the choice to do that. It's only on the league to do that. So the league in 2027 or before 2027, before the CBA is up, is not going to invoke another force majeure clause to renegotiate a deal because they'd have to give up more money. Once 2027 is done and the hype is down from the World Cup, they'll have to renegotiate money and they'll see what the profits were. And yes, they will get more, but you're then looking at past money and past profits, and you're not looking at potential profits. So you had an advantage agreeing to a new deal in 2025. You are at a disadvantage agreeing to a deal after 2026, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So more US we'll go back to the US stuff before. I know I'm getting pretty
it's good
heated here about MLS, but
I think I'm actually happy that Morris made the move. I feel like he did have his options, at least I think coming out of college, but I think he was just so focused on wanting to kind of, I guess, build his, legacy or just build up soccer, domestically here. And it's kind of like I know when seeing him play for the men's national team, we kind of saw what he could be. But we all knew deep down that, if he was going to reach his full potential, it wouldn't be in MLS,
Right.
I think he probably, I feel like, to a certain extent, maybe he could have gotten comfortable here. But, I think all in all, it's big for U.S. men's soccer just because, I feel like you really haven't seen a wave like this, kind of make the move to Europe. I mean, it was a big deal. It was a big deal when guys like Clint Dempsey, who else made the I know Dempsey played for Tottenham for a bit. He went to Fulham.
You had Donovan was Howard. I mean, all those guys that carried those early 2000s and early 2010 teams had that time over there. Of course, there are also a bunch of MLS players, but there were guys, the big names that had time over in Europe. And over the last couple of years, the only one you could really look at is maybe Christian Pulisic, but like you had Michael Bradley, who actually had time at Roma, but not for long. And Josie Altidore. I mean, those kinds of players who aren't at Christian Pulisic's level. When I look at the roster now, and I see the Weston McKennies, the Tyler Adams, the Giovanni Reynas, the Serginho Dests, those guys are at Pulisic's level at the moment. Like they're right there. And everybody, at first it was Pulisic is our Lord and Savior. Now everybody is catching up to him over in Europe. So there were other transfers too, actually, other than Brian Reynolds and other than the Jordan Morris and Paul Arriola. We had my boy, who I absolutely love, Daryl Dike, and I was screaming at Inter Miami to draft, is leaving Orlando City on loan to Barnsley. And unplug your ears really quick, get a Q-tip. There is a $20 million option to buy for Barnsley at the end of the loan. Now, obviously, it's an option, doesn't mean that it is an obligation. There is a big difference there. But that just shows you the potential of a guy like Daryl Dike, who absolutely balled out this last season as a rookie. Some other names too. Sebastian Soto went to Norwich. That was another one. We also saw. Oh boy, my brain's picking here. Oh, DeAndre Yedlin to Galatasaray. We mentioned Brendan Aronson and Mark McKenzie from Philadelphia over to Belgium and Austria, and then also a guy that you can look at who, kind of surged onto the scene like Brian Reynolds over at Schalke is Matthew Hopp. I'm going to flex really quick. I just bought this card from when Matthew Hopp scored his first ever Bundesliga hat trick, the first American ever to score a hat trick in the Bundesliga. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, he's 18 years old. He is playing ahead of a once big-time striker, Klaas-Jan Huntelaar, who just came in to Schalke. So, dude, Matthew Hopp, man, he is balling out in Bundesliga at the moment. He just actually got a loss in the DFB Pokal to another U.S. international. But, hey, listen, we love to see these guys shine over in Europe. And now there is more opportunity for guys like Hopp and Sebastian Soto's and the Areolas and the Morrises to shine over there, and the Daryl Dikes as well, of course.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's exciting to see that. Like, I think there was I think on Twitter there was a picture of the possible lineup that the men's national team could have against Northern Ireland, and I know it's a little far-fetched. It's far-fetched. But I think just in retrospect, I think that the exciting part about it is that, like, when you see a lot of these big names, like you mentioned, like Pulisic, McKinney, Serginho Dest, like you think about these guys and they are associated with big name clubs, from Europe. It's not just like they're not playing for Columbus or they're not playing for the Union. They're playing, like, Dest is playing for Barcelona, Pulisic is playing for Chelsea, McKinney's playing for Juve, and like it's insane. Like I honestly did not think that U.S. soccer could get to this kind of level. I think we've seen, from 2000 to 2018, even, like, we've kind of just seen them, kind of get better over time. But then, like, they kind of, they missed the last World Cup, and you're just like, wow, you get your hopes up, and then now it's like, oh wow, like you kind of they digress, and then they kind of trend downward again. But man, this is you want me to pull up this potential?
You want me to pull up this potential? Dude, look at this. So this is probably not. I haven't even mentioned a couple of these names too, which is a crazy part. I didn't mention Anthony Robinson, who plays every single week for Fulham. We had Kai, who mentioned Chris Richards. John Brooks is playing week in and week out for Wolfsburg. Timothy Weah has jumped onto the scene for league leaders in Lille, in France. Yunus Musa still balling out for Valencia. I mean, and Zach Steffen as well. I mean, these guys are playing week in and week out for some of the biggest clubs in the world, as Paul just mentioned, and you never thought you would see something like that. And it's just come out of nowhere. And all these guys sub 25, other than probably John Brooks. And then this too from Andres about Conrad de la Fuente in Barcelona.
Yeah.
He's playing mostly for Barcelona B right now, but still, that is obviously a very, very high level of football. And he's from Miami, so shout out to the 305. But yeah, it's nuts. And this lineup won't happen. Let me just put that out there. This lineup will not happen. I promise you, Berhalter will not put this lineup out for the Northern Ireland game. But this is just showing you the potential of what this team can be. I'm more than excited for it. And then you look at the bench. I mean, think about the guys that aren't on this roster who we've mentioned. Mark McKenzie, Brendan Aronson, Jordan Morris, Paul Areola, Daryl Dike. There are these subs. Also, one person that I actually haven't mentioned yet, which I'm kind of upset with myself at, is Joshua Sargent. who plays in Bundesliga for Werder Bremen. My guy, who I think should be the starting striker at the moment, he actually has fallen out of form a little bit, and Timothy Weah has been in form, so I guess this projection made sense. But that's another guy who's fighting for a number 9 role. I mean, they're everywhere. You can look at every single big league in the world now, even Turkey. When you look at DeAndre Yedlin at Galatasaray, it is insane. And I'm very excited for the future of this team. And like Andres just said, if they're playing at this level now, imagine in 5 years, imagine even in 10 years, these guys will still be in the primes of their career when they're 29, 30 years old. And they're all just 21, 22, 23, 24.
These are all young guns.
And they're all young guns. And if they can get time together, if they can, first, we have the Northern Ireland game in March. They're trying to schedule a second game. So hopefully we get to see 2 in the FIFA window, because as you guys may have noticed, we are playing teams like El Salvador and Trinidad and Tobago in non-FIFA windows, and we're using this domestic side that has to do with the Sebastian Legettes and the Sam Vines and all these MLS guys, which is okay, and I'm completely fine with, but sometimes we want to see the big guns play. So hopefully we can get another game in this upcoming international window. I'm just so excited. It excites me as much as the 2014 World Cup did, like the jersey you're wearing right now. I mean, at that time of the U.S. men's national team, when the game against Belgium, of all things, I mean, of course it was a heartbreaker, of course it was a heartbreaker, but for us to even get to that stage, to get out of the quote unquote group of death with Germany and Portugal, there were so many exciting moments, and missing out obviously in 2018 really put a damper on things.
Up by a goal against Portugal was such a great feeling for that 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was 2-1 for a long time. Yeah. It was 2-1 for a long time. It's just, man, and I want to get back to those ways, and I think that this team could potentially surpass that. No, not potentially. Yeah, they will surpass that. Maybe not in 2022. Maybe not in 2022, but in 2026, we're going to be even talking about guys that we probably haven't heard of at this moment. There are going to be other guys that are out there that are going to burst onto the scene, like the Brian Reynolds and, the Jesus Ferreiras is another guy who balled out in the Trinidad and Tobago win. I mean, in 2026, who knows who's going to be on this roster? But we know that if they're better than these guys, they're super talented. So there's a lot of potential there. And a lot of times that we've talked about the U.S. men's national team on this show, it's been mostly, okay, the goal should be semifinals in 2026 at the least. At the least. Yeah. And to say that about a U.S. team in a World Cup is nuts.
Yep. I feel like the ones, at least even the Olympics, or maybe I guess the Olympics, or just in any sport, the only team sport where the U.S. does not dominate is men's soccer. I feel like in almost every other damn sport in this world, in the Olympics even, there's a dominant U.S. individual or team, except for men's soccer. And I mean, it will take a while to kind of include in the top 5 conversation. I mean, I definitely think that we're, like you said, we're definitely inching closer.
We're trending upwards. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and I think I just remember too that Tim Weah used to play for PSG.
He was
he didn't get much playing time. But I just remember at that time, I was like, whoa! I remember he was just I know he was playing well for the men's national team, and I'm like, wow! When he's 19 years old, he's playing. He's basically Kylian Mbappe's backup, kind of. I mean, he's on the bench, but it's a crazy thing to
never got to break out into that team, but yeah.
But he's getting more playing time now, which is good.
Which is good, and he's at a team that's in the top of the league, and you can kind of, I guess, compare it to a Conrad De La Fuente type at Barca right now. He's not really breaking into the first team, but he's there. I mean, he's there. Yeah. And if Conrad can find a way to get out of there and maybe get some play time in the top 5 league, then you obviously shoot for that, and maybe he can be on the same trajectory as Timothy Weah, who has now become a very important player for a very good team in Europe at the moment. And Andres, again, hitting us with the facts. This could just be the first wave of multiple waves of talent production, which is nuts. Paul, I mentioned your kit, and I want to go mention another kit that I saw.
Yes.
We have to mention it because it's really good. And I've lost it, but I'm gonna find it. I promise. It is an Inter Miami leak for the away kit. Of course, last year we had the La Rosa Negra, which I have somewhere with me that I was going to show, but I can't seem to place it at the moment. But it's okay. But there is a new leak for an away kit, and I'm going to pull it up in just a second. I promise you. Here we go. Okay, this should be it. Boom.
Oof.
What are we thinking here?
So thing is, I did not like their away jersey last season. It was like the black with the three stripes. I mean, that was more of a universal MLS thing, right? With the three stripes.
Yes.
Okay, that to me looked like an American football jersey. It looked bulky. I didn't really dig it that much. I mean, I like the white one way more. I have the white one. I mean, but I'm surprised. Did they not have a pink kit, or that was just
no? It was so the
jersey?
pink kit was a training jersey, and we only had a home and away kit at and this is the away kit, by the way. I do have it. It was an MLS cookie cutter kit. So Adidas and the partnership with MLS, everybody basically had the same cookie cutter kit, and I mean it is what it is. You do what you can do, and obviously had it was inscribed with like the Herons logo, and this is kind of the same idea, but it said it's palm trees, and I don't mind it. I think it's kind of nice. The one thing it is missing, in my opinion, is a sponsor, but that is probably in the works. That's probably in the works. We haven't had a sponsor or a kit sponsor or a main kit sponsor. The only one Andres confirmed with me the other day that we had a sleeve sponsor last year, and it was Baptist Health, and I was saying the Baptist Health logo that has the pineapple would look really good on the front of this jersey because of the palm trees and like that kind of style. So I think that would work. But I kind of like this. I would rate this a 7.5 out of 10.
That's fair.
I think that's fair.
I'm not feeling brave enough to go up to an 8.
Okay.
I do like what we're working with here. I was actually gonna say 7.5 as well. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I kind of want to see what it looks like with the sponsor, just because I'm just so used to seeing any football jersey with a sponsor in the front, which I guess it's I don't know. It's just a soccer thing. But
it's weird not to have it. It's so weird not to have it on a football
training. It looks like a training jersey. It looks too plain. It's kind of like they lost their jerseys and they just kind of looked through the equipment room to find what they have because they had a game soon, and it looks too empty. You know?
Hear me out. Hear me out here. Andres says more pink. What if they outlined the palm tree leaves in like that pink that they have? Like that, not like it's not like a bright pink, but it's like the duller pink of the kit or of the stripes, and it was just like a subtle outline of the palm tree leaves, just to give it a little poof. You know what I mean? I think that would look pretty nice.
No, I would. I want to see them incorporate more. I mean, even if they had a pink, I would definitely buy a pink kit if they had one. Just
well, I have the training kit. I have the training kit, that was a pink one, but it was like it's super. It's not like a. It's not like a, the quality of this kit is a lot better, obviously, than the training kit because it's a lot thinner and it's like one that you just are able to breathe and look a little different. I do agree. T-Mobile would look nice here.
T-Mobile looks great. T-Mobile is beautiful.
Okay, in pink though, we don't want to.
This right here too. Oh my god, this is beautiful as hell.
Kai,
this is great.
Kai, before you keep going, I'm gonna stop you and I'm gonna ask you to give me a rating on this potential leak.
Are the palm trees like actually in there, or is that like
they're on the kit. They're like subtly put in there in like a dark gray that's almost a black, but you can barely see it. Out of 10.
What?
Out of 10?
He's laughing. This is not good.
like a 2.5.
Okay. We're gonna move on without Kai. And,
I have control too. That's what you thought. I have control too. It just looks so weird. Like, I don't know, man. Like, Dude, T-Mobile looks great. I don't know the hell you're talking about, dude. It's a great wireless provider too. I have T-Mobile.
Ew,
I'm
what
chilling.
You have T-Mobile?
AT&T sucks, dog. That's
Uh,
I hope that's not what you have because they're trash. AT&T/DirecTV.
Can we? All right, so we're gonna
Get out of here. No, I mean like it's just I don't know. I was on a call, so what did you guys rate it? I had to step away.
I said a
Come
We
back.
7.5.
both had at
Is that a-
7.5.
7.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Compared to what we had last year, which we were playing cookie cutter.
I mean,
kids,
if we're comparing to what we had last year, this is great. Like the thing I
mean,
just like the palm trees. I don't know, man. Like
where did I put it? So like we had. I don't know if I don't know if it's gonna come.
maybe
up
if they were more. I
But,
feel
like,
like
you
they're just
had
trying
things-
too hard.
You had things inscribed in it, and it was the herons there, but it was very small and it was kind of like all over the place. And it was just an interesting design on this kit, but
They were-
I'm not like I don't hate it. Like the more I look at it, the more I like it.
That's the stripes that Adidas did with all those MLS kits.
Was
I
bad.
thought that was ugly.
These
Yep.
these
So
stripes that are
ugly.
at the top,
Yep.
like not going down, but at the top here that go across are a lot
Oh my
better than
God.
coming over the shoulder.
The over
Yeah.
the shoulder was just ugly as hell.
And literally, I think there were only a couple clubs that didn't have it. And also, I didn't even mention this. There might be, don't quote me on this, but some MLS teams, depending on jersey sales and sponsorships, blah, 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 might be getting a third kit either this year or the year after.
Ooh.
So that would bring in potential for Inter Miami to have an actual pink kit, which would probably sell like hotcakes for their games. Now, of course, we only had the white and the black, and that was a little of a from the fans. But a pink kit that would be a third kit could be pretty nice.
The best thing that I can say for this is that I know Adidas can do better.
Yeah, of course they can.
That's
It's
my
MLS.
thing. Is like Adidas makes some of the nicest kits in club football. Like obviously they're a huge in soccer. Like they're huge. Like Nike has that, but like Adidas is soccer.
No, Adidas is up there.
Yeah,
they're
Adidas
top.
is soccer, and some of the past couple of years, it's been a little from just in general. Like, there's been some random designs that they've done that have made no sense. Like,
Yeah.
but I know that they can do better. I think that's the thing that annoys me with this. It's like I feel like they could do better.
I don't understand why. Okay, so the deal that
I think a 2.5 is harsh. I would go like a 6. 2.5
Okay.
was harsh.
I'm
The
okay
2.5
with
was
the
harsh.
6. I think that the problem with Adidas and MLS is that the partnership is so inscribed within itself. Like they're not going to be able to get out of it, and they're able to make it whatever they want and however much or however it would best profit Adidas is what they're going to do. So making these cookie cutter kits makes it better and more profitable for MLS. And to have the league go by one standard, it makes it easier, and it doesn't provide room for creativity, but
They're just not like
they're
just yeah, like I don't look at that like the white kit for Inter last year like wasn't outstanding, but I looked at that when I would like because I remember walking to Dick's Sporting Goods. I was like, I need a 1/2-inch kicking tee so I can bring it to the field and kick. And I like walked by that jersey and I was just like, damn, I feel like I want to buy this. Like I really don't have $100 to spend right now, but I want to buy this.
Yeah.
I look at this and I'm just like, they're probably gonna wear this a couple times and it's gonna look ugly as hell on the field, and then it'll be one of like they'll have to wear it obviously because there's a third kit. But like Bayern, they don't wear the white kit that Adidas made them this year too often. They wore it in the FIFA Club World Cup the other day, but it's not a fan favorite. They wear the home pretty much all the time, or they wear the third kit. Like,
well, that's because correct me if I'm wrong, but how many teams in Bundesliga are a red home kit? There aren't that many. Al Ali, the team from Egypt, were a red home kit. But looking at Bundesliga, I just
but you
shot
get me
the
like
top of my
they don't like even just in other fixtures against teams like they never wear that white. Like it's
head. Yeah.
in previous years the away kits have been so much nicer and they've worn them a lot. But like they just this year it's like even the third kit has been like I can't remember because the third kit they tried doing like the Allianz Arena kind of taped along it, and even like it looks cool, but it's just like like Adidas in general for like a couple years now has just been like, I wish that like, oh dude, this will too. Like I wish that like Adidas could just
I'll try and
do
pull this up.
a little better. that's the thing. It's like we all know that they can make some really nice kits, and like they can do better compared to what this is for the MLS. And like I don't agree with having like a cookie cutter
Oh,
template. Like
you have no idea what I just looked at.
if it's the
Oh,
leak, then
no.
I do, and I'm sorry
Oh,
for
no.
my friend.
Terrible.
My friend Lewis is a huge Atlanta United fan, and it's funny to laugh at him every day. Like, why? Why do you don't need the red down the middle at
Well,
all?
it's the 5 stripes. I mean, I guess I get it, but
But why? You don't need it. You don't need it at all.
this is not good.
You take away those 5 stripes, and that kit will look so clean.
Yeah, it would.
It will
I don't
look
love-
so clean.
I don't like the red at the end of the sleeve. That I could do away with too.
Not
As an-
even
okay,
as the
yeah, I
alternate.
agree.
Like
Well, I mean, it's
it's just ugly.
yeah, I don't like it. I'm not a fan. I'm gonna get it off the screen.
It's just ugly. It's one of those things. Like there's like I'll have to look for it. Like, and the only thing I can do, like, because I know some of the, like one of the old the Bayern home kit from like 2017 was like similar to this, except it had like the white stripes down everything, right? And it was just like, yeah, this is okay, but this is ugly as hell. And then they tried doing a mint kit the other year. Like,
Yeah.
it's just Adidas has been like on some experimenting type wave, and I don't understand why. Like, they need to just get whoever they fired that was making all these beautiful kits. They need to rehire him, because now it's just been like.
All right, I didn't mean to say all right there. I'm trying to type at the same time because I want to give you time to talk about Bayern and the FIFA.
Dude, like, it's okay, but like, why? Like, you don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I like the away kit so much more than I like the home kit, and even the away kit is still kind of like, all right, like, I don't know, dude. They could do so much better. Adidas needs to get back to their wave. But anyway, so Bayern's gonna win the FIFA World Cup tomorrow. So, you know, everything's great.
You don't think Gignac's going to give you a problem?
I don't think anyone's gonna give us a problem.
Well,
I
it's
don't
it's just Gignac. So I mean,
no one is gonna do anything. No,
it was only 2-0 against this team from Egypt. You played a pretty decent roster.
Ali put up a.
It was a
fight.
good game, dude.
That was a great game to watch. I
know.
wanted them to score so bad, and I've never like.
And it wasn't 2-0 until late. It was 1-0 for a long time, and it was a nervy
1-0
game
for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
not nervy, but it was a
it
close.
wasn't
It was
nervy.
close.
Like Bayern should have scored 4 or 5 goals. In all reality,
They hung in there.
but Al Ali hung in, and you knew they were going to. If you read like the tea leaves coming into it, like Al Ali are a pretty good team, and them potentially upsetting Bayern. I think they're also second most FIFA Club World Cups out of all clubs in the world. I believe is also like the whole thing, like appearances wise. But they are a good club. They had been on a winning streak, I believe, of like 16 or 17 games, something like that, coming into it, and they talked before the game with just confidence, and you don't see that unless you're like, you know, Arturo Vidal, who thought that FC Barcelona was the greatest team in the world. You don't really see that from a lot of clubs when they talk about Bayern. It's a lot of respect, and they play like they're trying to respect Bayern for some reason, when it's like, dude, play your football. Like,
Yeah.
You know, everyone knows Bayern has the high line, and Hoffenheim and Sebastian Hoeneß showed it perfectly. Like, you know how to attack that high line. Why do you respect Bayern so much? Obviously, like, I'm a fan, so I like that they are too scared to push into that defense that has a bunch of problems. But like, hey, you know,
It's too much.
Hopefully, Tigres. I mean,
it's going to
Is
be a
this-
good game. I doubt that this is going to be a bad game.
no,
Like,
it'll be close. I think it'll be
shocked.
close.
Like, if
Is this
Bayern
the
won
first
like
time-
3-1, I'd be shocked.
Is this the first time that a CONCACAF team has been in the World Cup final?
I think so.
I for some Andres will probably know. He'll probably comment it in just a couple seconds. I think that, or it's the first time a CONCACAF team has been in a long time at least. But I don't think I can recall a time where a CONCACAF team was in a FIFA World Cup First CONCACAF team. Yes.
Yeah.
That's why you're here, Andres. But
Andres
yeah,
did
that's
it quicker than I could even search it up.
now. First of all, LAFC should have beaten Tigres. They didn't because they
Yes,
suck.
they should
But
have. They
that
definitely should
that game
have.
was
And they
so
would have made
annoying.
they would have made the final too. People have been talking about that all week in this past week and the week before. Like they would have gotten to the final.
Yeah. No, I think so too. And I would have liked it. Dude, just imagine if an MLS team was there, dude. That would be so good for
They
the
would have
league.
gotten their butts handed to them by Bayern. I think a lot more than Tigres will. But like LAFC getting there, they should have. It's kind of embarrassing that they didn't because they would have gotten to the final easily.
But here's the thing too, like the way the schedule is set up with MLS and every other league in the world. I mean, I'm talking not just Europe, but Africa, Asia, and all these in South America. Like they don't run at the same time, so like LAFC would be so out of form. I mean,
and they still would have, and we're still talking about them probably making it. Like that's what's so insane is like we still think that they would have made it even being out of form. Like think about that.
It's crazy. And like they probably don't even have a full roster at the moment. Now you also have another thing too is the CONCACAF Champions League, you know, where you have to win in order to get to this point. It's not in line with the MLS season and teams are playing before they like it just makes no sense and MLS has to get it together. They really do. They really do.
Oh yeah. The MLS like there's no doubt that they would have gotten there, in my opinion. Like I think that they would have for sure gotten to the final. I don't think it would have been as entertaining as tomorrow's game should be.
What time is the game?
Like, I can't remember right now. Actually, give me a second. I can definitely get it for you because
I want to know. I have to. I'll be
at
a
moment.
I'm not at work.
10 a.m. Or no,
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Ah, that's tough. All right,
that's what I thought. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's at 1 p.m.
Hopefully, I get to tune in. Dude, Andres knows, bro. Andres is
Sorry,
on.
I meant to put up this one.
Oh, okay. They changed it for 2023. Yeah, I can talk about this quickly. I saw this.
Yeah.
Basically, CONCACAF is like they're changing.
They changed the Club World Cup as well, didn't they? Like, isn't the Club World Cup going to run? And I think that they did. You talk. Unless
okay, so let me talk CONCACAF Champions League. So in 2023, they're basically changing the rules to suit North American teams like fully. So they're doing regional group stages, meaning teams from Central America, the Caribbean, and North America all play in their own group stages. So MLS, Canadian, and Mexican teams will be in their own groups. Central American teams will be in their own groups, and then Caribbean teams will be in their groups. Now, it's going to be a total of 50 teams entering the group stage, 20 teams from North America, 20 teams from Central America, and 10 teams from the Caribbean. I'm doing this off the top of my head. I don't have notes in front of me. I didn't expect to talk about this, but I think I got it all down. The teams from North America have a potential of getting 11 clubs out of the 20 past the group stage onto the knockouts. First and second in each group out of the 4 groups. So there will be 5 teams in each group. You can play a home and away game with 5 teams in each group. You play a home and away game. If you come in first and you come in second, you qualify for the group stages. And then the best 3 third-place teams can qualify for the knockouts as well. So it's a potential of 11. Then if you look at the Central American teams, they have a potential of 4. And then you look at the Caribbean teams, they have a potential of only 1 team. That's right, 1 team making the knockout stages out of the 10. So it is completely suited for North American teams, including Canada and including Mexico, and definitely MLS to do good in this tournament and have a lot more representation. So, and past the knockouts, it kind of gets normal. It's 2 legs and you put in, it's a draw, whatever. But the regional group stages are a huge, huge change that is going to change the game of the CONCACAF Champions League and how clubs can qualify for a tournament like the FIFA Club World Cup. I mean, this is the ultimate prize in any continent is your Champions League, whether it's the African Cup or you have the Asian one. You have obviously the UEFA Champions League. This is the one for MLS teams like Inter Miami. This is why I'm so big on it. It's crazy.
They did change it, by the way, for the Club World Cup. And Andres, I knew it was 24 teams, so I'm glad that he pointed out the way that they wanted to. I know that because of COVID, obviously it changed. Because I remember when they were talking about this, I was like, great, so Bayern's not going to be able to get the patch because of this. Like, that's obviously wow. They're just mad that the greatest team in the entire world won and Robert Lewandowski was snubbed for the Ballon d'Or. But anyways, I digress. the format was supposed to be that it was going to take place in China this year. I'm trying to get as much in there as I can, man. I haven't been able to in so long. All I do is talk about Manchester United with Austin in my freaking cross talks for the radio. Okay, so I'm trying to get as much Bayern talk as I can
That's
in.
right.
Red Car Radio Saturdays, onsiteradio.com/live stream from 11 to 1 p.m. By the way,
Guys Corner 1 to 2 p.m. Same website.
there we go. And in podcast form following the show. Anyway, so 24 teams from 6 confederations will compete. And then instead of December, they wanted to replace it with the Confederations Cup. So it would take place in June and July. I am not sure if they're still going to do this, but it was supposed to change for this upcoming season. Who knows if it's really going to happen? It was going to be in China. And it says in March of 2020, they planned it for then. It was postponed to June. And then a new tournament date coincides with the planned FIFA Club World Cup. They announced it'll be rescheduled later in 2021, 2022, or in 2023. In December, they announced that it would be held in late 2021, hosted by Japan, and they would use the previous 17 format. Following the meeting, China is still on the agenda. They just haven't decided when it will take place.
Interesting. A lot of changes after this pandemic stuff when it comes to cups. And another cup that actually changed too is the US Open Cup. Very weird. Not as many teams, and only 8 MLS teams are going to be in it. That is a disappointing one because I'm always excited for the Open Cup every year here in America because I like to see like the teams like Miami FC beat the Atlanta Uniteds or beat the Orlando Cities or whatever it was a couple years ago in 2017.
I was there. That was a great
You were there?
moment. Yeah. Oh my.
It was like a last minute winner, wasn't it?
Yeah. I just could not. I'm like, I mean, given it was Atlanta's like kind of like what B or C team. But it's just like, man, they kind of
It was Miami FC in 2017. Like they weren't even close to where they are now.
Yeah, like
they're playing in the USL Championship. That wasn't even a thought back then.
Yeah, and I mean, they had a great squad back then, but I just remember, man, like because it's at the FIU Stadium, and you just feel the stands just shaking after that goal. Oh my god, man! I think that was like my first soccer game ever, and I was just like, wow, this is insane. This is
that's
crazy.
a pretty good first game for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Open Cup is changing. The rules are changed. I haven't read up too much on it, but I saw a lot of people were disappointed, and it's kind of seeming to be a smaller competition this year.
Why are we talking about all these? You guys have been talking about all these small competitions and small insignificant games for like an hour now. I was gone for like 20 minutes, and all I heard was yada 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 this, yada 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 kid.
I have a question.
Like,
I have a question, Kai. I have a question. Five Reasons Sports Network is catered to what kind of fans?
Miami Heat fans.
No, okay. The general area.
Miami Heat fans.
The general area location.
Fort Lauderdale, Miami. No, Fort Lauderdale, Bayside, Davie.
Bayside.
Pompano. That's me. I'm
Pompano.
No,
well,
listen.
I'm talking about the teams. I'm talking about the teams.
Florida. Listen, South Florida fans.
Broward,
South
Bayside,
Florida fans,
and Davie.
So I am bringing up the competitions relevant to our South Florida team and into Miami.
Like this
Not
is 5 reasons. Football, sir. Look, you muted yourself. You see, you don't even believe in your own likeness. You muted yourself. You don't even believe in what you're saying.
Dude, it actually came out of my computer, so I muted it. No, but I'm just bringing these things up because it is.
No, I'm just messing. I'm just messing.
Listen, I'm catering to the local fan. Whoever the 5 people that are in here listening, I'm catering to you guys. Okay, that's what I'm here for. I don't brag about my club in Manchester United, who just had a Scott McTominay winner in extra time.
Yes, you do.
That's the first time I've said Manchester United all show.
You do it for 2 hours on radio. Like all I do is hear Austin while I'm sitting there doing the final touches on my Google Doc for my show of my talking points. Meanwhile, all I hear is like, let's pretend this is a wall, right? And I hear Austin going, and Inter Miami, they just got this person, and that doesn't make sense. And then, of course, this person like failed us, so now we have to go look for this person. I'm sitting here listening over while I'm typing away. I have videos of me that because I'm doing a vlog thing about like month in radio or whatever. I have videos of me sitting there typing as like B-roll, and all you hear me is like laughing at Austin getting so upset at Inter Miami, then randomly brings up Manchester United, That's another hour of Inter Miami, and I'm just like, dude, Austin, it's red card radio. You gotta bring up something else.
No. Listen, I cater to the Inter Miami fans, to the US fans, and then I give a little updates around the world. But when Champions League starts, best believe I'll be all over that, dude.
When
One more
Champions
week
League starts, I'm gonna be coming in like 30 minutes until my show's actually supposed to start and just intervening for fun.
We should do that. Actually, please do that. Anyway, let's round out the show with some fun. We have a pretty good comment here from Noel. Let's have fun, boys. That's not what I meant to expect. Gosh, dude, he commented at the imperfect time. Okay,
Wait, but it's true. It's so
Austin
true.
Kiel gonna be the best team in the world. Yeah,
That's what beat Bayern, bro. That was a great game, by the way. But anyways,
You think Ronaldo will end his career with Inter Miami? I have a feeling. Noel, first of all, I want you to tell me why you have a feeling this is going to be the case.
I give like Messi a better chance to do that than Ronaldo.
I would agree. I think
Messi's gonna probably do 3 years with City, and then
here's the thing. I think Ronaldo is more susceptible to a move than Messi is. I know that Messi is probably going to leave Barca, but if he does leave Barca, he's not going to be some like journeyman like Ronaldo has been. I think Ronaldo would. I don't know, man. Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like Ronaldo would be more willing to make the move because it's something that he would do at the end of his career. Messi, I don't know if I think he would just retire. For some reason, that's how I see their mentalities.
I feel like it would be flip flopped.
Yeah.
I don't like. I mean, neither of them are gonna live up to the hype of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but like you know, it would. It would still be okay.
I feel like Ronaldo. I feel like if Ronaldo does leave
But
Europe,
it doesn't. Wait, think about that though. Sorry to cut off, Paul. Like, yeah, there's a lot of like Madrid fans here, but this is like if you go to Bayside, this is Barcelona County.
Really?
Yeah, like Barcelona, I think
because I know for sure that Real Madrid packed out Hard Rock Stadium in 20.
Oh no, they did.
Me included.
They did, dude.
They're like I think they're like hiding in the shadows rather than like the people that would come in and show out for Messi is like I think
especially
Kendall and stuff like that. Like
say if Ronaldo was still at Real
Barcelona
Madrid,
fans.
Say if Ronaldo was still at Real Madrid.
Oh,
they're not hiding in the shadows. It's
no. Yeah, they're hiding in the shadows like Manny because their team sucks. I'm kidding, Manny. I love Manny. If Manny is watching, dude, I miss Manny so much. I miss Manny so much. I haven't like Manny is like we produced the extra yard without Manny now. He's not here. Like I miss Manny so much.
Listen,
dude.
Manny is busy with his Florida Panthers. That's his grind. That's what he loves.
Manny is
so happy for him, dude.
Best producer ever. He's doing he's doing. No, I think he graduated. Did he not?
He graduated. He got his bachelor's, but now he's on his grad school.
He's doing grad school. He's working full time. He produces every show under the sun for 5 reasons. Is the best one at it. None of us could even get to that. Like, I miss Manny, man.
It took me an hour to put up the ticker on the bottom with all that. So I couldn't really figure that out for a minute. So yeah, no, I miss Manny too, man. Shout out to him. He does so much for 5 reasons, and he's on his own grind. He he like we said, he got his bachelor's. He's on to grad school. He produces all of our shows. Now he's doing a bunch of the
tweets for like 3 different like
fifth line, right? 5R, and
5 on the floor,
and
5 reasons. Like
everything, man. He's all over the place.
Extraordinaire.
Indeed. Hopefully he can come on next week. No. I mean, there are no other clubs. I mean, maybe
LA.
New York City, LA. That's it.
LA.
Yeah.
But I don't think that New York has that pull. Like, from a big soccer star, like, why are you gonna want to go to New York, dude? LA is the spot.
Yeah, I think he's a total LA boy.
Ronaldo would be LA. I feel like Messi would be Miami. Ronaldo would be LA. I could.
Just the way that, even with Zlatan, it's just like how you see how he was viewed. You know, like dude,
Zlatan was literally viewed like a god. Like
I can see Ronaldo on all the talk shows, like with Jimmy Fallon. Oh my god!
Of course,
Messi not so
especially
much.
Like Ronaldo, like they would literally view him as a god, and that makes so much sense for that stuff that happened with Zlatan to like come on randomly in the first game against your like town city rival. Like I feel like that would be flopped. I feel like it would make so much sense for him to not follow like a Beckham, follow like a Zlatan, and go to LAFC and then randomly come on in his first game was like a hat trick against Galaxy. Like that just it
Yeah.
writes itself.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it does. But for for Messi, like something like Miami, I just feel like fits. Like it's just something about it that just fits, man.
Huh. That's
He's not like
interesting.
he's not
I
a
mean,
flashy guy like Ronaldo. So I feel like
yeah. But I mean,
he's
Inter
gonna make
Miami
a
is
more
flashy.
sense.
You don't think the Miami thing here is flashy?
And when the new stadium is up and running too, and everything like that, dude.
I guess
The stadium-
we'll see how it is with new stadium.
Dude, they would have so much fun.
Yo,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Tua, yo, don't forget about Tua. Come on.
Hmm.
Oh my god, you guys suck.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
Like
Is Tua even a football fan though, or a soccer fan? Sorry,
probably not.
Yeah, no, I know Jimmy Butler is. So,
Dude, I imagine with his PSG self, dude.
oh my god, why do
Imagine being
people
a fan
support
of a
PSG?
losing team.
Anyway,
God, couldn't be me, dog.
all right. Well, listen,
I'm talking all
boys,
this smack because if Bayern loses tomorrow, at least I'll get it all out now and I'll be happy about it, you know?
you're one of the same clubs as I put you in the same category as like PSG. Crazy, always winning your domestic titles. Like it's just super ridiculous,
Well, we
buying
know
all the
why.
talent.
Whoa. First of all, Austin, you know that's not true. And you know I have
know
stats. I have stats that back that up. I know you're a soccer fan, Austin. And
Yeah.
I know that you know that's not
Do
true.
you know how many times you brought up about how you don't buy all the German talent? So I had to say it just to get you triggered for a second.
And I know you've looked it up to try to fact check me. And I
No,
know
listen,
you know it's
listen.
true.
Just. I was
It's
trying to
true.
push. I was trying to push your buttons for a second.
Hey, look, at the end of the day, for the Bayern stuff, if they lose tomorrow, it'll be more of an embarrassment than it will be good for Tigres. Like, yeah, it'll be cool, but everyone will be talking about like how embarrassing is it that Bayern is supposed to be the best team in the world right now, and they gave up like 2 or 3 goals. If that's how it happens,
I
like that'll
think,
be like.
so. You're
if
saying
they
it'd
get
be more.
if they get embarrassed, like it would be. I think it would
No,
be great,
I think
but I
it'd
feel
be a
like the
bigger
news
win
would
for
be
Tig-
talking about like Bayern was destined for the 6th title and they lost. Like Liverpool last year, like Liverpool was destined to win the FIFA Club World Cup, even with their like not even the same team, right? And they like that would have been like embarrassing if they lost. Like if you look at like Europe, and Europe is seen as like you should be winning that trophy.
Yeah.
Mexico. I find that funny, dude. That was heartbreaking, dude. That broke my heart that day. Dude,
Man,
what
I
broke
miss
my
World
heart even
Cups,
more
dude.
was Hungmin's son, dude. I love that dude, though. I love Hungmin's son.
He
but
balled
when
out today, by the way. Even though, did you guys watch that Tottenham Everton game?
5-4.
Bro, that was nuts, dude. That
Dude, I
was nuts.
I love a Carlo Ancelotti led Everton, man. It's fun.
I'm not gonna comment on Everton as a Manchester United fan at the moment. I think we should end the show though, because I am not gonna comment on that. I'm not gonna make you comment, dude. That last minute winner, I know that Andres is gonna bring something up for it right now because he.
Why do you
loves
think
Thomas.
I brought it up? Come on now,
Listen,
dog.
I can't
Yo, I
comment.
love Thomas with Bayern, dude. Oh my god.
Is
I
he
feel
on
like
a
he's-
loan at Everton?
No, he free transfer. They let him off of his contract.
Yeah,
I
the Everton
love
boy,
him.
the Everton
dude.
Colombian boy, Andres himself.
Like I still think he's a little bit of like a wuss for the fact that he said he didn't like the cold, but like, dude, I love Thomas, man, and the reach that he got with some of the fans in South America is great. So I like Thomas a lot. He'll always have a special place in my heart. Same
That
thing with
24
Coutinho.
That 2014 World Cup was magical. I'll say that.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
That was magical stuff, and it put him onto the scene. Was he at Monaco at the time in the 2014 World Cup?
Yeah.
Or did he move right before?
I think he.
No, he
I
moved
think
after the
was-
World Cup. He moved
Yeah,
after
he
Yeah,
the
moved
World
after
Cup.
right after.
Yeah,
Right after it.
Yeah, dude. I can't wait for 2022, man. Even though it's going to be in Qatar, we got through the Russia one, so we'll get through this one. It'll be fine. I hope. I hope. All right. With that said,
All right,
it's
take us
11
out.
o'clock. It's 11 o'clock, boys. Listen, next week we'll have Champions League. I believe it starts next week. A lot of the games are being moved around and stuff like that, but hopefully we have we
Played
have
in
some action.
different countries.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And they potentially could be one leg, so that is another thing to look for too. But hopefully, we get to have some Champions League talk, more Inter Miami talk, more signings. and hopefully Bayern lose tomorrow so Kai can come in sad. So with that said,
Literally, you just want to see me cry. Okay? This is what you want. You want me to go in on Friday when I fill in for Ethan and have Edwin and Lemon City Live, Chelsea fan right there, bully me. You want me to come in on Saturday? You want to bully me? I've been bullied enough by Kylie last week for not liking tennis. I've been bullied by you for not liking tennis, for not liking hockey.
Speaking of, I'm going to put on the Australian Open tonight.
I need a day to just be able to live and love and laugh and cry like I did when Bayern beat PSG, okay? Let me be happy.
You can be happy with Tua and the Dolphins. I'll give you that, but that's about it. Okay.
I will. I'll be happier than you will, and then Paul will with the Canes, all right? More success.
Yes. We're going to speak into existence. We'll see about the Tua thing, though, but,
we'll see you with the Canes thing. What do you mean here? What?
That too. But,
Oh boy! Listen, Inter Miami is going to win the MLS Cup. That's all I'm going to say. All right. So, with that said, thanks for guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been a great show. It kind of got off the rails towards the end, and we kind of just started taking jabs at each other. But I love it. Imagine if Martin was here; that would be even more fun.
That would have been even better.
I would have started from the jump. Martin.
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully, we can have everybody here next week, including Andres, including Martin, including Manny. It would be great. Champions League and more MLS Inter Miami talk to come, and hopefully Royal next week too. With that said, from 5 Reasons Football, I'm Austin Robillard. That is Kai, and that is Paul. We will see you guys next week. Peace out.